Hey guys, and welcome to a video on the CHR. So this is my hybrid, and that's my HUD right there. So as you can see, I'm able to look through the screen as I'm driving. But anyway, today's video is about the 360 camera. So without further ado, let's begin. So this is the default view of the 360 camera. I've currently set it up to a side-by-side, so I'm actually parked right next to a pillar, and to my right is a green car. So switching that on, you can see you have the bird's eye view on the right, and on the left you have a side-by-side omitting the car, and you can see what's right beside you. So if I were to switch the modes, there you can see on the left and on the right, you can see where the wheel arc is for the front and where the pillar and the green car is in relation to that. So moving along, we have several views that you can see at the bottom. This view here just toggles top down from the back, and on the right is static. This one just shows you the reverse camera at the back, and you don't have to be in reverse. As you can see, I'm in park mode right now, and you can still see the details at the back. Alright, so that's the reverse camera. This is the wide angle version of the same reverse camera. That's the top bird's eye view in different orientation. And if you notice, you see the red lines. We'll get to that in a bit. There you see in front of you, there's a top-down view of what's in front of me, and that's the view from the front of the car, and that's the wide-angle version of what's in front of the car. And then of course we have that 3D model version, which will automatically rotate once you start your car, and that shows you what's around your car before you move off. Right, that's a pretty nifty feature. So remember, we talked about the red lines and the yellow lines in this case. If you see, I move to the left, I'm turning my steering wheel, and you can see the lines are actually predicting the path. Obviously I'm going to collide into the pillar. Now I'm going to turn my steering back, and you can see that even shows you where the rear wheels will end up. Alright, again, this is the rear reverse camera, and turning the camera left, you notice that even the angle of the camera looks like it's turning. It's actually not, it's actually skewing the view. But let me just show you what that looks like. So here I'm turning, and you can see a bit of my license plate that starts to move. That's actually the wide angle camera that's doing that. It's got nothing to do with the camera's not moving, right? It's static. Again, bird's eye portrait and landscape, you can see it's predicting where the car will end up. Yep, that's going to turn into that Sienta on the left. Okay, again, this is the front view, and that again kind of looks like the camera's turning a bit to the left. As you can see, it's not turning, and I apologize for the thing keep switching out because I'm actually in park mode. If you're in drive or reverse, that doesn't happen. Right, it stays on until it recognizes you've moved off. Again, you can see clearly that the bumper here on the left screen looks like it's turning, but it's not. Alright, and I don't know if you can see this, but I'm actually recording, and it's recording at 1080p. Alright, it's full HD. So some people have asked, what does it look like? Let's just scroll through. Oh yeah, by the way, so you have that bubble view which excludes the vehicle on the left, and my steering wheel is not straight, as you can see on that tiny screen on the right. Now it's straight. This is just the left view from the wing mirror on the left. Looking at the left screen here, you can see that's the left view. Switching there, that's the right view, so you can see directly what's below your wheel. This is very, very helpful when you're going through the gantries, right? I just used that just now because they have these half-baked ERP gantries where you need to insert a cash card. You know what I'm talking about. So here you have two options. You have the settings, and then you have the video playback. So let's hit the video playback. And here I'm now in the video playback. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of videos that have been recorded and the time codes for that, and you can see how many files there are. what mode I'm currently in, normal video. The medium, I'm using a USB, and on the right hand side, that size there actually is not in relation to my USB, but it's actually showing the internal memory of the device. So what I realized is that the internal memory of the device is able to help you save stuff. If let's say you get into an accident and save, for example, let's just scroll through one of the files. I'll show you the playback first. So this is what the playback looks like. It gives you a 4-view, there we go. You can see the 4-view version of all the 4 different cameras that are all over the car. This is very, very useful when you're claiming an accident. So this records continuously when I drive. And let's say something happened here, which obviously didn't, but let's say something happened here. I just click on this and I switch copy to event directory. And what happens then is it takes that file, makes a copy of that file, saves it into the internal memory of the device. And here I can switch to the event directory, and here you can see that that file has then been copied over as an event and is stored, right? So even if the disk, the USB stick that I'm using is overwritten, it does not lose the file that I've just recorded. So again, you can just hit play and then that will play back the file. Alright, so that's the same file. And if you're happy to delete that, you can just go over here, delete that from the event directory, so it's like a storage that's secure for you. And switch back to the normal directory. And from here you can scroll through all the different. So I'll try and find one that I was driving around earlier. I'm not sure if this is it. Maybe this one. Let's see. Yeah, you can see the cars that are moving, that's looking on the left, on the right, the rear, and how that goes to the front. I think this is pretty cool because you can see who kind of sideswiped your car. That's very, very useful for insurance claims. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you, but if it does, you've got this proof. Otherwise, insurance claims are always 50-50 for sideswipe by default. Most of the people don't want to bother with going through the lengthy process of having lawyers and claiming all the insurance. So the insurance companies usually like to settle for 50-50. Here you can see I'm actually moving off now in the recording. And there is no audio. Okay, so that's something to note. There is no audio, but here you can see that I'm driving along and you can see me passing that white car that I drove earlier, that drove by earlier. And you can see all the different angles from here, the front, the back. So obviously the top left camera is the front, the top bottom left camera is the rear, top right is I think the right hand side, and the bottom right is the left hand side of the car. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a good idea of what the recording is like. It's actually very, very clear. It's just that my screen that's playing right now is obviously from the head unit, but still, I mean, look at that quality, right? You can see it. Okay, so if you want to hit back to the 360 mode, just scroll and you get to the 360 and you exit that view, and then you're back in this view. Okay, now something interesting to note about this device I thought was kind of useful was I'll just go into the settings and show you first. So in personalization, you can actually select when you activate the left turn signal whether or not you want to enable the camera. Okay, so here are the options. You can choose not to open, so nothing happens. You can enable kind of like a 2D view, so it's a really zoomed in on the left or the right wing mirror camera, depending on the direction that you select. I don't know why you would want to select not open, but some people do that, right? And then you also have a narrow lane view. Narrow lane view basically just omits the car. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I'll set the left turn signal now to the narrow lane mode and the right turn signal to the 3D view. So I'm gonna signal left now. Alright, let's see what. Let me just get out from the settings here and just let that take effect. So immediately if I signal left now, so I'm gonna signal left, and here you can see it's now gone into the narrow lane view. Okay, now if I stop signaling, as you can see, oh, let me do that again. So I'm going to signal left, immediately it turns on. You can see my blinkers in the camera video. I turn off the signal, look what happens. It switches back to the front because it thinks you're still moving off, right? And after a couple of seconds it turns off. Now I'm going to signal right and you can see the 3D view. So there you go, that's the 3D view. And you can actually scroll around the car. Usually what you see there is the curb and what's around the car, so you don't curb your rims. That's very important. Okay, I'm going to turn that off, and you can see now that's gone back to the center view, the front camera, and then it's just going to cut off. So I'm going to go into the full settings for the signal view now, and I'm going to switch this back to 2D. And then, just for the heck of it, I'm just going to put not open. Okay, just in case you guys have more questions. So now I'm going to signal left. I'll just wait for the screen to disappear. Meanwhile, you can enjoy the sounds of the Samsung ringtone. I think this is quite nice. Okay, so I'm signaling left. Nothing happens. Can you see that? Signal indicator is gone on. I'm turning left. As you can see, I'm turning left, nothing is happening. Right, now I'm going to show you. So I'm signaling left and nothing happens. Now I'm going to signal right. Watch this. Ding. And here you have that right lane, that 2D version of the right. You see that? And again, that switches back by default to the front camera as you're moving off. And that should conclude the video. It's been 12 minutes. Thank you for listening and watching. Have a good day. God bless.